I mentioned earlier, we really received overwhelming support when we started talking with folks in the community about doing this drive. And early on offering assistance was Joel Delmonico and Barbara Miller from Clear Channel Radio and our good friends at Power 106.9. So we'd like to ask Joel to say a few words.
When we put Power 106.9 on the air, we made a commitment that we would serve the African American community and super serve the African American community. And when Paula called us and asked us to come to the meeting, I will admit that I thought that donating bone marrow involved things like electric drills and bones. And apparently, you saw the demonstration, that wasn't true. But no, it's a perfect opportunity for all of us in media to use the power of the media to get the word out. And the difference between what people think and what the reality is entirely different. It's a very simple thing to do. I learned a lot. I was a biology major in college, and I didn't really understand what the procedure was and the whole thing about antigens and everything else. So this is an easy one for us, and we're devoting as many resources on all 7 of our radio stations as makes sense. So we're delighted to be part of it and work on this team with all these great people. Thank you.
I was diagnosed in October of 2004 with AML, a particularly nasty form of leukemia with a lot of complications and DNA translocations, which makes it incredibly difficult to cure. And I was given a dreadful prognosis, actually about a 5 to 10% chance of surviving in 5 years if I had successful chemotherapy, and if I did nothing, I'd only live for about 2 more months. So it was a very easy decision to say, well, I've got to do the chemotherapy. And coming out of all that, and on the good days, trying to figure out, well, what are some of my other options? I learned about the bone marrow transplant and some more about the prospect, and also learned what that would mean if I could have a successful bone marrow transplant. And it really turned out for me to be the only reasonable chance that I had to even attack this problem, this disease, and have a positive outcome. So we tried the family match. I have a sister, and of course I did not match with my sister. So I had to rely upon a volunteer match. We went into, they took my blood and measured the antigens. They went into the database, and much to my surprise and delight, I was told that there were hundreds of potential donors in the database that could possibly be the one that I would need. And so out of that group, one donor was selected who turned out to be a perfect match for me. And the technology at the time, it's called a 12-12 match. There were 12 antigens measured, and 12 were a perfect match for me. So I went ahead and had that transplant in May of 2005, and just completed 2 years of post-transplant, and had a very extensive checkup in May of this year over at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. And we just heard on Monday of last week the report that from my bone marrow biopsy that I'm 100% engrafted. I have none of my own blood cells left in my body, and it's 100% donor cells. So things are looking very, very good for my outcome. I'm certainly looking forward as we go ahead to be working with Joel and Helen and Frank and Sue and her team and Joel's team, as we move this forward and have our first event coming up here on Saturday at the Juneteenth celebration. The gift of life. I am so very grateful that a stranger made a decision to join the registry years before my need became apparent. So our goal is to find many more such people. Thank you.
We thank you. We appreciate your interest and support in helping us get this very important message out into our community. So thank you all for coming today.
For Juneteenth, we're looking for people to come who are interested in joining that registry. We'll give them some educational materials. They'll fill out the application, and they will be able to do the mouth swab test right at the Juneteenth celebration. We'll be located, I believe, right centrally located, and they shouldn't have any problems to find us.
Many people go ahead with transplants that get less than a perfect match. But there are some people that just have no match whatsoever, and for them their options are very, very few. And those are the folks that I just think about, what if that had happened to me, and how devastating that news would have been to me and my family. So if we can make a difference and get some folks to get on the registry, become volunteers, and help those people in that time of need when they really need that help, I'll feel that we're really making a lot of progress.